So today I hope that everyone can run the Python because starting from next week I will start the basic Python. I call it basic because I will explain from the beginning. Because of the time limitation, I cannot explain everything. Okay, so in 1 week, I try to cover all the Python in one semester that you already have last year. Okay, so yeah, it was, I hope that there is no problem with your computer. Okay, let me check again your attendance now. It's possible. Umilyo. Okay. Oh, Song Min Sok. Oh, Shin Min Song. Okay. And Junho. Uh, why the system is uh, Yang Min Sok. Om Yeji. Om Yeji. Cô Sang Ấn. Okay. At this slide, I would like to explain a little bit about the Jupyter. So two things I will explain. First, the hello world in Jupyter, and the other I will like to explain about the notebook environment. In Jupyter, okay, we are going to use the Jupyter notebook. But first, I would like to explain there are two types of Jupyter, okay, that you can see from the installation. First is the Jupyter notebook. It is an open source web application that you can use to create and share documents that contain live code, equations, visualization, and text. But there is also another version of Jupyter. We call it Jupyter Lab. In Jupyter Lab, it is the same, it's similar with the Jupyter Lab, but it is like on top of Jupyter Lab. We call it, this is the next generation user interface of Project Jupyter, offering all the familiar building blocks of the classic Jupyter Notebook. So Jupyter Notebook is the basic one, but they improved into the Jupyter Lab. You can have the notebook and you can have the terminal, text editor, file browser, rich output, and etc. So the basic idea of the Jupyter Lab is to bring all the building blocks that are in the classic notebook plus some new stuff. In my opinion, Jupyter Lab is much advanced, so I will use the Jupyter Lab. And the environment is still the same with the Jupyter notebook. About a Python, Jupyter Notebook can be found in Anaconda. So if you install Anaconda, you can also open the Anaconda Navigator. Okay, so we will look at this one. And in Anaconda, they provide also many other tools. Okay. So if you, for our wider. So this is also another IDE, integrated development environment for Python. And you can also use the VS Code, Visual Studio Code. So the Anaconda provide this tool as well. I think this is the old version of the Anaconda. The current version is more than this function. And if you understand the Jupyter notebook, it is good to connect to web. For example, have you heard about Kaggle? So if you go to Kaggle, so the environment in Kaggle, they use the Jupyter notebook. So you can join the competition. You can join any kind of code sharing, or you can join the community in the Kaggle, and of course, you can get some idea from the Jupyter notebook in Kaggle. And the other thing, if you use the Jupyter notebook, you can use and you can open it in the Google Colab. Google Colab, it is from the Google, they provide on the web. So as long as you have the Google account, you can have the Google Colab. And yeah, you don't need to install in your computer. But I just want to teach you how to use the Jupyter notebook. That's why you install the Anaconda. But for your future, maybe you can consider using a Kaggle, or you can use also the Google Colab. If you ask me which one is better, Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, it depends on how you want to use. For the Jupyter Lab, the environment is new and it is more advanced. The Jupyter Notebook is more classical or more basic. For me, I will use the Jupyter Lab. Yeah. And I think it is good also for you to use the Jupyter Lab. Now, there are some options to open the Jupyter Notebook or the Jupyter Lab. There are two options. First, we can use the command prompt, yang prompter, or you can use the Anaconda Navigator. In the command prompt, as I showed you before, you can use the command prompt or you can use Anaconda prompt. So if you already install Anaconda, you can see the Anaconda prompt. But if you cannot see the prompt, you can use command prompt, or in Korean it is Myeongjong. If you want to use the Jupyter Lab, you can write Jupyter Lab. If you want to use Jupyter Notebook, you can write Jupyter Notebook. So let me show you. Let me just close this one. So yeah, if you type prompt, okay. So basically Windows will install some of the command prompt. For example, in this computer, we install VS. VS is the Visual Studio Code. And then there's another kind of command prompt. Okay. I will use the command prompt from the Anaconda. And if I use this one, I can call the Jupyter Lab. So you can write the Jupyter Lab and check whether it exists or not. So I'm not sure if you use the new version of Anaconda. If you already installed previous years or some years ago, I think you need to do some update. So let me just use this one, and then if I click this one, then it will connect to the Anaconda server. It means the server in your current computer, and yeah, the comment will ask you. Okay, so in my case, it opens in the Google Chrome. Okay, if you are the first time to use the Google, if you are the first time to use the Jupyter Lab, they will ask you which browser do you want to use. So you can choose. If in my case, I choose Chrome. So you can choose whether you want to use the Microsoft Edge, or I don't know, if you use Mac, maybe Opera or other things. Okay, so if you click the Jupyter Lab, then this is the result. Okay, Any problem? So let me close. So this is one way to open the Jupyter Lab. So I can show you about the Jupyter Notebook. So you can write the Jupyter Notebook. I hope that you can have some impression about the difference between Jupyter Notebook and Jupyter Lab. So this is the Jupyter Notebook. So in the Jupyter Notebook, you can only open one page. But in the Jupyter Lab, you can open several pages, or there are some tabs like this. That's why for me, this is too classical. I prefer. For example, if I use this one and then let's say I want to make a new folder. Okay. Let's say this one is, I need to rename it. Let's say TSA 2024. Okay. So if I want to make a new file, then I need to make a new Python file. And it will create a new notebook like this one. Okay. So let me close this one. Now let me just shut down and then let me go back to the Jupyter Lab. So if I use the Jupyter Lab, yeah, you can have the lab. You can easily look at the folder. Okay. And then I just created the DS2024 before. I click and then I can open it here. Let's say I choose the Python 3 for the kernel. And then, yeah, if you want to make a new file, then you can just click here and then make a new file. And then you can see every of the file at the same page. So they just show in the different tab. So that's the good thing of the Jupyter Lab. That's why I will use the Jupyter Lab. The other way to open the Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook, you can use the Anaconda Navigator. But I do not want to use the Anaconda Navigator because it is a little bit heavy. If you use this one, let me show you. So if you use here, let me close this one. So let me call the Anaconda Navigator. Okay. So in the first, you can look at the Anaconda Navigator. So if you install Anaconda, you can get this Anaconda Navigator. If you click this one, it depends on your computer spec. Okay. If your computer is good, yeah, it can give you the result very fast. But if your memory is low, then you need to wait for some time. Then after this, you can launch. Yeah. So now, yeah, there are so many functions here. You can launch this. So you can see the Jupyter Lab, Jupyter Book. They have different button. So after you select this one, yeah, this is also an option to open the Jupyter Lab. Okay. Yeah, you can choose which one is better for you. So for me, I prefer to use the Pro because it is less memory. If you use the navigator, so they open every of these functions. So it will give you more memory. So let me quit this one. So I will just use prompt. Wait, prompt. So you can see if I open it using Jupyter Lab, so it is faster than the open navigator. Okay. Okay. Now, if you want to create a file at the Jupyter Lab, yeah. This is in my computer. Actually, I also into the R, so they have the option R. But if you are using only Anaconda at the first time, maybe you only see Python. Okay. So if you want to create a new file, so you need to click on the plus, okay, as I mentioned to you. Click this plus button, so you will have a new file. After you have a new file, you can see on the left panel the file name. Jupyter Lab will create automatically the file name with the name untitled. So you can change the name by clicking this file. You can do right click and you can rename. So after you rename it, you can say, for example, first Python. That's it. Okay. So you can change the name as you want. Okay. So you can right click and rename the file. Now let's discuss a little bit about the notebook environment. Today I will just discuss about the markdown and code and the basic statement. So this is the Jupyter Lab user interface, as you already know from the environment that I showed you in the Google Chrome. So here you can click and you can add a new one. For this button, you can add a new folder. And if you need to have more extension, maybe you want to connect this Jupyter Lab to GitHub, then you can click on the extension. You can install the GitHub, and you can do something to connect to GitHub. Or now there's a Jupyter AI, so you can connect this Jupyter Lab with the ChatGPT. So you can type some code, and they can recommend you the code. Okay. So that's the and other things. There are many libraries in. Whenever you do the code, please remember that you need to save your file. So this is the button to save. And this plus means new cell. Okay. Please don't confuse with the plus here. Add new cell. So we will check later. This is one cell. Okay. So if you want to add a new cell, then it means there will be a new row. Cut. So you can cut the cell and then move the cell to other location. This is just the basic function, cut, copy, and paste. Okay. If you want to execute the code, you can click on this part. It is the play or run. Or if you want to stop, for example, you have error, and then your Python cannot work well, or the Python cannot stop. So just stop the kernel from this. And then sometimes you need to restart the kernel. If it is too heavy, Yeah, if you handle a lot of data and then you cannot run well, so you can restart it. This button is to restart kernel and run all cells. It means, let's say you already make a lot of code and then suddenly there's a problem. So you want to restart it and you do not want to run one by one. So you can press this one. It will restart and run all the cells automatically. So first, let's delete this one. Oh, okay. In this section, there are three things: code, markdown, and raw. Let me show you. Okay, we have code, markdown, and raw. Code means we can write the code in Python. If you change to markdown, it means you want to write description or comment code. So here, if you change to markdown, you can see the interface is different. Raw means you write using some other tool, for example, LaTeX. So it's clear here, but I think I will not explain. So I will focus on the code and markdown. For markdown, maybe it is just an introduction. It is a lightweight and popular markup language. I'm not sure if you understand this markup language. This markup language is similar to hypertext markup language HTML, made of the markup text. So HTML is markup language for web. Basically, if you use this Jupyter notebook file, you can also consider this web. So in the markdown, I will explain only the basic one. So two things for the basic markdown. First is the heading and the other is emphasis. The headings means if you use one shot introduction, and then if you press enter this one, then you can see that the introduction is very big. We call it, this is the title. You can double click. You can have two shots. You can type section 1, for example, and then you can run. Now it shows the size is a little bit smaller. Now you can also double click here. Let's say I have another 3 shot. Section 1-.1. Okay, so if I run, then this one is a little bit smaller again. Now you can see, yeah, if one shot, it is for the title. If two shots, usually it is for the major heading. If 3 shots, it is for the subheading. 4 shots, it is for fourth level subheading. So do you know how many shots can we do in this markdown? Anybody know? At 1, 2, 3, 4. So until how many shots? Anybody guess? 20? 50? 100? What is the maximum shot? So based on the definition, The maximum sharp is 6. Okay. So after 6, so it is just normal. Okay. So you cannot do more than 6. And then for the emphasis, yeah, we have two things. Actually, there are so many other things, but let me just show you only two: bold and italic. So bold means this one. I change to markdown. If it is bold, then I need to put the underbar. For example, half underbar. Then if I run, okay, it is input. If you are going to make an italic, so the underbar is only 1, or the star is only 1. Okay, underbar half. You can see automatically it shows italic, or star half, or only 1 star and then half. Okay, so it shows the full and so I can do this one. Yeah, this is full italic, full italic. So you can add, you can modify, and you can delete the cells. So what does it mean by cells? Yeah, this is the cell. Okay, this is one cell. And maybe many of you already know Python. So in Python, you can make the description. Make sure that you can distinguish between code and the markdown. In the markdown, you will use sharp for what? Sharp is for the heading. Okay. Title. Okay. But in the code, you also can use the sharp. But what is the purpose of this sharp? This sharp is comment. This is a description that will not be executed. So you can write anything here, and you need to start with sharp. If you start with sharp, Python will not execute this code. Let's say I want to print, and then don't forget to make the code hello. So if I run this, then it only executes hello. This one is just a comment. A comment means we want to describe what is the code. So in my case, I have two cells. Okay, the cells this one, and this is another cell. So you can add new cell by plus, or you can cut the cell, or you can copy the cell, and then you can paste the cell. So it's of this function. Yeah, it's just for the cell. And here you can also see some other function. Okay, so you can use also this one. For example, you want to copy and paste, so you can just copy and paste below. You can move the cell up, you can move the cell down, you can insert the cell above, you can insert the cell below, or you want to delete the cell. So they have this kind of function. So you can use this one. Yeah, if you want to delete. Yeah. But why there is no function this? Because you need to make it bigger. If I want to insert, okay, insert cell above, insert cell below, then I can make a new cell directly. Or if I want to move this one above, okay, yeah, you can just move this one. And yeah, the cell will be changed. Okay, so that's the basic one. And to execute the cell, I think it's very inconvenient if you keep using the button here. Okay, if you keep this button, click, yeah, so you move a lot. So usually as a programmer, you need to know some of the shortcut. So I will like to show you the shortcut. The first is Shift Enter, and the second is Alt Enter. Shift Enter means you will execute only a cell. And then Alt Enter means you will execute a cell and make a new line. So let's say I print welcome to DSA. So I can do Shift Enter. Okay. Oh, this one make a new line. And I can do also with Alt Enter. Okay. So if you do with Shift Enter, you can see there is no new line. So now I will do with Shift Enter. So only the cell will be executed and no new line. But if I do with Alt Enter, so I execute the line and there will be a new line. Okay, to write comments, yeah, we can use the chat, writing comments in the code section. Some additional notes when you use the Jupyter Lab or Jupyter Notebook. Please remember that the extension file is .ipynb. Okay. So any file with this extension ipynb, it is the Jupyter Notebook. You can move the cells to other notebook files. So let's say, yeah, you want to copy this one and then you want to move here. Okay, then you can. And the other thing, you can relay out the notebook. So if you feel that, okay, I do not want to have this layout, I want to have this layout. Okay, so it is also. So it means you can do a comparison between two different notebooks. And for the basic statement, we can learn a little bit about print statement. I think you know the basic print statement, which is using the quote. Okay. We just want to print the output. But how if I want to print with quote inside? Okay, let me get back. So I can do like this one. Print welcome to, let's say I want to make the DSA with quote. How can I print? If you put two quote like this one, error. Okay. So this is what people later as the string literal. In order to do this one, you need to understand, yeah, later on there are some functions like backslash. Can you find the backslash in your keyboard? Usually the backslash is beside the backspace. Okay. And then you can also have another backslash. Oops. Oh, sorry, only one. Okay, then in this case, I can put the quote inside it. So you need to put the backslash. The other thing that I want to teach you is we can print multiply. Multiply means I can do print, for example, welcome. I can do 3 times of code. Welcome to DSA class. We will explore Python during 1 semester. And then close with 3 quotes. So you will have 3 multiply. So make sure you know you understand with the quote with the backslash and then triple quotes. This is to print the multiple line. And yeah, I want to give you one more, which is the backslash n. So I want to print hello backslash n Python. The result is hello and Python in the next line. Okay. Yeah. So this is some of the variation for the print when you want to get the output. Okay. Okay, I give you the example. I give you this example so you can practice later in your own laptop. Okay. Okay, so I think that's what I prepared until now. Any questions? Yeah, today I just give you the introduction, and starting from next Monday, yeah, please prepare your notebook and I will speak the class. So I will not slowly like today. Then yeah, please prepare your notebook before you enter the class. Okay, if there is no question, I think we can finish our class today. Thank you very much. See you on Monday.